I'm Leo London, welcome back to my channel, and this is my brand new Pendulum Magician's build for November 2020, and that means a lot of things have changed. Phantom Rage has come out, Maximum Gold is just around the corner, or is it Premium Gold this time? I don't know, the gold set is just around the corner. That means we're hopefully going to see the format change. Zoodiac are going to come in, Mutants could come in, Phantom Knights could come in, maybe even Raid Raptors, I doubt it, but they could. And can you top local events with this, like smaller events? Absolutely. But if you're going to a bigger event like an LCS or something that requires long-term, maybe several days of games and constant success, you're probably going to want to go with the Mythical Endymion build, as I believe like long-term it's more consistent and probably has a higher power ceiling. But this has a lot more fun, a lot more variety, and a lot of different tactics and contingency plans built into it that you can use to steal wins away from the more powerful decks and win those local tournaments. If you like the deck, and if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, join the Facebook group, Yugi Leo, and we talk about Pendulum all the time. We can help you with your deck. Just join a community of dedicated Pendulum players looking to help each other grow and become better players. And of course, check out my Patreon if you want to help the channel that way. But with that, let's get into the deck profile. And we're going to start off with a sizable cast of magicians. 3 Harmonizing Magician, 1 White Wing Magician as your primary searchable tuners by Pendulum Call, 1 Double Iris Magician because he can search out the Time and Star Pendulumgraph, 1 Black Fang Magician to help you get over those monsters with really high attack points with its power dropping effect, 1 Purple Poison Magician for its destruction, 1 Performer Pal Celestial Magician to protect your Synchro monsters from being destroyed, or your Xyz monsters, but there's no point because they'll still lose their materials. 3 copies of Wisdom Eye Magician, 1 copy of Dragon Pulse Magician, and Dragon Pit Magician. This is your main out to Mystic Mine, and he'll be explained momentarily. 2 Oath Dragon Magician is the final piece to the Magician puzzle, and that is all the magicians in the deck. 1 more tuner, Magica Libra. 3 copies of Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser, 2 Tuning Magician, and then 1 Artifact Scythe. Now on to Spells and Traps. 3 copies of Duelist Alliance, 3 copies of Pendulum Call. These are your primary searchers. You want to see a Duelist Alliance or Pendulum Call as often as possible in your hand. Searches out 2 magicians, searches out the Pen Call to search out 2 magicians. Pretty standard for magicians. Up next, 3 copies of Pot of Desires. This is why you double up on everything. 2 Tuning Magicians, 2 Oath Dragon Magicians, 2 targets for Unexpected Die in the Dragon Pulse Magician and the Magical Libra. Only 2 copies of Allure of Darkness because I didn't want to run too many direct draw spells because Droll Lockbird is just ruling the format. 1 Star Pendulumgraph, 3 Unexpected Die, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Time Pendulumgraph. So how to play around Droll and Lockbird is very difficult no matter what the deck is. But Pendulum Call is generally the first thing you want to do because if they Droll you, you still get the search. So I highly recommend doing that before you would activate Pot of Desires, if at all possible. Of course, the solution always is open the Called by the Grave or the Instant Fusion, which is one of those should not be limited to 1. Now we're going to get into the extra deck, and I'm going to provide some options if you don't have some of the more rare or more expensive cards. 1 copy of Artifact Dagda. This is going to search out your Scythe and then set it, and then you will Xyz into Tornado Dragon, pop it, and then your opponent will be unable to special summon on their turn. 1 copy of Christian Halki Fibrax, just to be used to climb into Selene, and then that will be used to climb into Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. Christian Hucky Fibrax brings out the Tuning Magician. Selene revives the Tuning Magician. Tuning Magician plus Selene equals Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. 1 copy of Borrelsword Dragon for your big OTK finisher. If you don't have Borrelsword Dragon, Borrelo Dragon is a very budget alternative. If you have him, Access Code Talker works great in here too to finish off your opponents. Then into the Xyz monsters. 1 Supreme King Dark Rebellion. If you don't want to use Supreme King, you can use Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, but I definitely recommend using the Supreme King as it's just outclasses Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon in all ways. Or if you have it, Zoodiac Chakanine and Zoodiac Boar Bow. I have Broad Bull, but it's unfortunately banned and I don't have Chakanine. But you're able to Xyz with any 2, and then you Xyz again into Broadbow and be able to attack directly to set up one of your big finisher plays, which we'll get to in a moment. 1 copy of Time Star Magician, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, 1 copy of Tornado Dragon, 1 copy of Divine Arsenal AA-Zeus Sky Thunder. This is why you use Boar Bow, because Boar Bow's effect says that it can attack directly, and this is not an activated effect. So Appaloosa, Savage Dragon, any card like that won't be able to negate it. Yeah, and then you'll be able to pass, enter the main phase 2, activate Divine Arsenal AA-Zeus's ability, and just send everything to the graveyard. 1 copy of, oh, this guy's name is crazy, Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. Now this one is specifically just to synchro climb into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss for another negate. And you do have several options here you could use. Number 1 is Void Ogre Dragon, because he can still negate spells and traps. He just can't negate monster effects like Abyss can. You could use Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, or if you're a traditionalist and a purist and you truly want pure magicians, you can always use Enlightenment Paladin, and then you would get a spell returned to your hand, and then you would be able to synchro summon up into Archfiend Abyss. But I like this one because of its mill ability and the ability to add 1 to your hand, and it can special summon itself out of the graveyard. So it has a lot of utility. 1 copy of Borrelode Savage Dragon for your Omni Negation. 1 copy of Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer, for clearing out those established boards. It's a very good board-breaking card. 1 copy of the aforementioned Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then 1 Millennium Eyes Restrict for your instant fusion target. Now, as I always say, customize your side deck to your localized meta, and that's what I've done here. At least what I predict the meta will become. 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More to break boards. 2 copies of Artifact Lancia to prevent those boards from being created. 3 copies of Flying Sea to shut down Zoodiac and Phantom Knights and just win the match outright. 1 copy of Magician's Right Hand. 1 copy of Magician's Restage, and 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods, because this will be your Game 3 Dark Ruler No More counter. You activate the Foolish Goods, you send the Restage, you add the Magician's Right Hand, and bam, you don't have to worry about Super Polymerization or Dark Ruler No More. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, and 1 Monster Reborn to fill out your side deck. Now again, customize your side deck to your localized meta. Okay, so now we're going to go through an example hand, and if you guys haven't guessed it, that's unfortunate. The deck is basically rank 4 XE spam and level 8 synchro spam, so level 4s and level 4s, and that's the basic strategy. You just work with those toolboxes to come out with the best possible outcome. We activate Instant Fusion, special summons the Millennium Eyes Restrict, activate the Wisdom Eye Magician, then activate the Duelist Alliance. Going to look for the Star Pendulumgraph, not the Time Pendulumgraph. because we need Harmonizing Magician. So we activate the Star Pendulum Graph, we activate the Wisdom Eye Magician, we pop the Wisdom Eye Magician, and he will become Oath Dragon Magician, and then Star Pendulum Graph will activate and add the Harmonizing Magician to our hand. We then activate the Wisdom Eye Magician, and he will become the fresh off the ban list Double Iris Magician. Then we normal summon, and then we special summon the Tuning Magician, and then we link into Halqifibrax. Halqifibrax special summons out the tuner. Now, the reason we did it that way is so Millenniumized Restrict can still protect us. Then we're going to link into Selene. Selene brings back the Tuning Magician, and then we link into the Appaloosa Now. Then we activate Oath Dragon Magician, add the Harmonizing Magician back to our hand. Then we Pendulum Summon. Then Harmonizing Magician's effect will activate. And it's going to bring out the White Wing Magician. And this is primarily why she's in the deck. It's so if you want to make 2 synchros and you only have the 1 level 4 tuner, you'll still have the ability to do that. Now you have 2 options here. You can Xyz in the Tornado Dragon and then use the Double Iris Magician, or you can synchro. And in this example, I'm going to synchro. In the next one, I promise, I'll use the Double Iris Magician. We synchro into Borreload Savage Dragon. We attach the Selene. We synchro again, banishing the White Wing Magician. Into Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. We excavate the top 5 cards of the deck. Get to add a dark monster to our hand, send the rest to the graveyard. We then synchro summon into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And that is your primary end board. Perhaps I should have went with Performant Pal Celestial Magician here instead of the Double Iris Magician. It's got a bit carried away. But now we have an added card in hand. We will draw 1. Oath Dragon Magician will add another one. We'll have 3 cards in hand when we begin our next turn. And now we're going to get into one more where I make use of the Double Iris Magician. So we're going to start off by playing through at least 1 interruption this time. 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so the first thing we try and do is bait out the Ash Blossom by using the Allure of Darkness first. But nobody's going to Ash an Allure of Darkness because it's a +0. And they would rather do Ash something that's going to special summon or give you a +1, something like that. But generally speaking, they will not Ash a Allure of Darkness. Unexpected Die, however, is most often hit by an Ash Blossom, so we'll use it there. We will then activate the Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. Special summons itself. Now it does have 2200 attack points, so if your opponent had a window, you could just literally go Curtain Raiser, summon, attack, and then break the window lock and then continue to play. However, you've already given up your battle phase, so you won't be doing any more damage. Then we normal summon the Harmonized Magician after activating the Star Pendulum Graph. We go into our Link 2, Christian Halqifibrax. Chain Link 1, Star Pendulum Graph, because it's a mandatory effect. Unfortunately, you can't use it to chain block. And then Chain Link 2, Christian Halqifibrax. we added a Wisdom Eye Magician off of the Star Pendulum Graph and special summoned out the Tuning Magician. Now we don't pay the life points and your opponent doesn't gain life points because its effects are negated by the Christian Halki Fibrax. We then scale the two Wisdom Eye Magicians and then link up into Selene. Selene will bring back the Tuning Magician, then we'll pay the cost of 400 life points. Your opponent gains 400. Then we link summon up into the Appaloosa for our Nibiru protection. She has 2 counters on her. We then activate 1 Wisdom Eye Magician. Oh, sweet. For the Oath Dragon Magician. Then we activate Wisdom Eye Magician again. For the recently off the ban list Double Iris Magician, then we use Oath Dragon Magician's effect to add the Harmonizing Magician. And then we Pendulum Summon. And then Harmonizing Magician's effect will special summon out another Magician. So as you can see, very easy access to the rank 4 toolbox, very easy access to level 8 synchro summons. You could have gone and made another synchro here, but I wanted to make sure to get the Time Pendulumgraph just because I know so many people are excited to see Double Iris Magician off the ban list. So the first thing we'll do now is synchro summon. Put our Omni Negation in Borreload Savage Dragon on the board, giving him 3 counters. Appaloosa has 2, Savage Dragon has 1, or has 3. 1 negation per turn, however. Then we're going to XZ summon into the Tornado Dragon. Then Tuning Magician will special summon herself. Again, we'll pay the cost, and we'll go into a Link 2. And then Tuning Magician will be banished. Link 2 will be Artifact Dagda. Dagda will set Scythe from the deck. Upon the activation of an effect, that is. I forgot about that. So we'll activate Tornado Dragon's effect. Then we'll activate Dagda's effect. So Chain Link 2, Chain Link 1. Out comes the Scythe. Pop the Double Iris Magician. Add the Time Pendulumgraph and set it. Then on your opponent's turn, activate the Tornado Dragon, popping the Scythe. Now your opponent is locked out of their extra deck. You have 2 negations and then 1 Omni Negation.